Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tap, 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 power tap. Thank you. For those of you watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Yep. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everybody. Oh dear, I'm sweating this morning, even in winter. Mm, it's nice. Hello, everybody. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is gonna be awesome. Actually, I'm live on two platforms right now. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on TikTok. That is good. Lovely. Lovely. Woo. Feeling good. Because the YouTube fan have not been following us on all our discussions in our previous discussion. So I think it's time. Yes, keep tapping, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Irene, thank you for joining. Amazing job there. You're power tapping already. Thank you. And we're targeting at least 30,000 power likes today based on our discussions and the things we're going to be doing. For those of you on YouTube, we're hoping that you catch up with us as soon as possible. All right. Great. So we're here. We want to discuss this very important topic. And I think I should, let me see if I can bring in the title at the top of this one on YouTube. Anyway, the title should be showing there. All right, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. Power tap, power tap. We're getting 3,000. We get started. 3,000. We get started. And this is gonna be a nice discussion today. Nice discussion today. Irene, thank you. Let me see those of you that are really right now doing this job. Oh yes, Bukula. You're welcome. Queen, you're welcome. And those of you on YouTube, I will try as much as possible to mention your name, but let the comments start coming in. As soon as we get the comment, we'll be able to. Yeah, our topic today is family values in parenting. Family values in parenting. And we want to talk about how to model what you want to see and what is so important. Yes, Emperor J, you're welcome. Jeez, you're welcome. Sweet, you're welcome. Disney, you're welcome. You guys are welcome. I can see you guys on the participating. Please power tap. Let's go. For those of you on YouTube, I noticed that about 5 of you there are watching us already. Yes, thank you, Mr. Boss. Don't call that. Don't use that name. I'll ban you from being here. I'm gonna report you first for using that name. And it seems you don't have respect. Okay, it seems you don't have respect. Whoever is there on YouTube, it seems you guys don't have respect there. How do I report this useless behavior that you just manipulate? I think is my phone. No. Suicide, unwanted commercial content. No, child abuse. Speed up. Come on, YouTube. Report. And hello, you're welcome. Lemian, you're welcome. There's somebody there. There is the boss. He called himself the boss. So I'm gonna remove him. He's calling himself monkey. You see, those are the kind of racism guys we're having on the platform these days. You just come to the platform, and because of my color, you're calling me monkey. See that because of you, we are coming live to discuss these things because you guys are, you guys need some brush up, some catch up to do. Hello, Mrs. Yemi, you're welcome. And those of you on YouTube as well, your comment is already coming up. As soon as you're putting up the comment, I'll be able to see it. So I will reply both. I'm on TikTok as well. As much as you guys are seeing me on YouTube, I'm on TikTok. So that's the reason why I'm talking on both sides. So just in case I mentioned the names of those on TikTok, just know that it's TikTok. So I'm also looking at the YouTube as well. If I mention the name, just know that is. So if you're a parent and you know anybody who is a parent right now, send this link to them. Let's begin to share. Also, follow the subscription there. Guys, let's go. Let's go. We're about to have this discussion today. Very nice. I wish I can communicate what is going on TikTok to YouTube. That would be nice, isn't it? I wish I can transfer what the activity here over there. That would be nice. But hopefully we'll get a response on that. We'll get that done. We'll get that done. There will be a way that they will be able to hear us as well. Okay. Today we're talking about family values, and we want to be discussing uh, modeling, or you have to model what you want to see. That's the area I want to focus on today. Keep power tapping, guys. We haven't gotten to 3,000 years. Let's go. Power tap. Let's go, and then we'll discuss this. And those of you who want to share your experiences, you want to share what you think our family values, I will encourage you to come up and discuss this with us as well. So we're gonna be listening to you guys today. I'm here to learn. Oh, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. So let's go. Let me see if we can start inviting people from the other side of the yes. Let's see. It's ending now. Let's use this one. All right, we're inviting people already. Cool. Guys, please power tap. I see a lot of you there, about 7 of you. Come on, guys, let's do it for us. Let's do it for the platform to create an awareness. Just power tap to create an awareness. We're creating an awareness. That's all. So that people know that something is going on here. Something is happening. You know how we do it as family. You know how we do it. This is how we do it. You know how we do it. Let's go. Yes, Eddie, you're welcome. Diola, you're welcome. And you're welcome. You guys are welcome. And those of you on YouTube, you're welcome as well. If you're watching, this is streaming live. I think I should be able to do sliding, but that's all right. Yes, let's go. Family values in parenting. Family values in parenting. And today we want to focus on modeling the behavior you want to see. Modeling the behavior you want to see. Modeling the behavior you want to see. That's what we're discussing today. Modeling the behavior you want to see. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, especially our new first timers here today. I'm going to blow my trumpet for you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us wherever you're watching from. Our discussion today is modeling what the behavior you want to see. We're almost there. We're 1006. Let's go. Guys, let's power tap, power tap. Let's go. Let's go. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Okay, we're almost there. Yesterday we had a wonderful time discussing a few topics that really deal with equality. We're looking at equality in marriage, equality in family lives. So we dealt with that extensively yesterday, and it was a good experience to know that a lot of people actually believe in equality in marriage. A lot of people believe in equality in marriage, and which is a good thing. I like it. But most people are still fighting it. Some men don't agree with equality in marriage. So, what do you guys think? We discussed that yesterday. What do you guys think about equality in marriage? I want to know in the comment section what you think. Both those of you on YouTube and on TikTok, I'd like to know what you guys think of equality in marriage. Is this subject is this something that we should be discussing, promoting, encouraging, and advising our young men to actually adapt? Because if you're looking at the old guys, the big guys, the old men with this their tradition, it's gonna be very difficult to convince them of that. It's going to be really, really difficult to convince them of that. But we can start making changes with our young guys who are coming up. If we can still try and convince the youth and encourage the young guys to change their methods, especially in this time and this hour of the century. So, guys, let's go, let's go, let's go. What do you guys think about family values? How important it is family values? And if at all there should be, how can we inculcate family values in parenting? How can we apply family values skills in parenting? How do we do it? What should we do? Do you agree with the fact that we can only model in our children what we want them to be or what we do? In other words, the children today can only produce what they see, most likely in many settings, especially our children today that we have. They are very intelligent children. So that's what we're talking about. Tell me, Tokwe, you're welcome. Listen, you guys are welcome. Keep tapping, keep tapping. I appreciate you all. We're almost there. 3,000, and then we're going to open up. Afternoon, Jane Doe, Jane Doe, Jane Doe, Jane Doe, Jane Doe, Jane Doe. Jane Doe is here. Afternoon, you're welcome. We're going to have a long ride today, everyone. Long ride on this discussion. Now, when I was growing up, I'll tell you a story why this subject is so important. You model what you want to see in your children. That's the principle of this discussion. You model what you want to see in your children. You model what you want to see. Okay? If you pipe, you do a lot of smoking as a parent, your children will not do otherwise. They will only, even though you tell them don't smoke, don't drink, and here you are smoking and drinking. Well, sorry. it will take a lot of work to make that not happen. It will take a lot of work. All right. You gotta put in some work. Really. I mean, show me by your actions, not just what you say. All right. So guys, let's power tap. Let's power tap quickly. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. While we're bringing people to discuss this topic today. I'm not gonna teach. I'm not gonna share anything about it. I know some of you already know exactly what to say. I can just chip in some things. I'm gonna make some corrections. Yeah, retalk. Retalk is here. So I'm gonna make, well, let's hit 3,000. Let's hit 3,000. Then we'll open up the multiple guests. Today I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen and learn how you guys are doing it. When I was growing up, what I saw in my parents disturbed me a lot. Not that it was that bad. They were not that bad at all. They were a good parent. But there are some things I didn't want to have in my life. I didn't want to have. It disturbed me because probably I was different mentally. I was different based on what I was supposed to be doing in my life. So I knew that there are behaviors that I didn't want to see. I didn't want to have. Okay. For instance, most parts of my parenting, I knew that my dad would always come home very late at night. In an early stage of my teenage life, I noticed that. And even when I was growing up as a little boy, I noticed that he would come late, very, very late at night, every day. And that was a challenge for me. I thought, what is always keeping him late every night? And as I grew up to become a teenager, it became even more obvious that this is an attitude or a behavior pattern that is not healthy, because by the time he comes, everyone is sleeping. So he gets to see everyone in the morning. And guess what? That's the rush hour time. Everyone is preparing to go to school. And then, so that happens like every day. So the only space he had to see us most of the time is weekends. So that weekends, that Saturday, Sunday, he stays home for a while before he goes to every other activities and meetings that he needs to go. Um, so last part of the week, last part of our life weekly was spent not really seeing him regularly at home. So that was a concern, a huge concern for me. And I didn't want to have that behavior. I didn't want to have that kind of lifestyle. And that disturbed me. So as I began to grow up into an adulthood, from teenage into becoming an adult, I observed that I was already behaving that way. So I became one of the things that I began to replicate his own behavior, because I will go out with my friends, stay out till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, because I already know when he comes, when he gets home. So I will have my own late nights, like towards 11 o'clock, 11:30 p.m. Then I'll rush home, and rushing home, knowing that he will be at home at about 12:30 a.m. in the morning. That's the roundabout time. So I did it for a while. Okay. So it's like someone reported me. So obviously my mom reported me that this is what I was doing. And because she had actually tolerated it for a while. And after tolerating it for a while, she could not help it. And then just, you know what, I have to tell your dad. So she didn't tell me she was telling my dad. She actually told my dad that, look, your son actually also go out late and go out and come home late. And he comes home right about when you're coming home. So my dad noticed it. So he decided to change his system. Me, I didn't even know. One day he just changed his method. Guys, power tap. I'm waiting for you to get 3,000 power tap, and then I'll open up the multiple guests. So when One day, I didn't even know that he was coming home early. So guess what? He came home at about 8 o'clock, and I just left home right about that time with my friends. So actually, my friends came to pick me up about 7:30, 7:45. So they just picked me up, and we got into the car. We just drove off. This time we went to one of those um, guest college, guest boarding school area. You know how teenagers and we're just playing and trying to make fun, have fun. All right, we just went. We were trying to have fun, not knowing that my dad was on his way home. All right, he was on his way home to me. So, guys, power tap. We're almost there. 30,000. We're almost there, and then we have a goal of 30,000 today, anyways. So, I know my story is beginning to interest you, but the reality happened. So, I didn't know my dad was already on his way home at about 8 o'clock. So about 8 o'clock, 8:30, he gets home. Remember, I'm the one that opened the gate for him. So this time I was not at home. Okay. And my sister happened to be the one that was at home that day. Gracious God. That's my elder sister. So my dad came, normally he will put a hand on the horn, pam, 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 on the gate. So normally I will rush out to open the door. Here, he's horning on the gate. There's nobody to open the gate. He's expecting his son. He already know that son I wouldn't be at home. So there's already an information fishing. So my sister came, opened the door for him. That was what I was told and everything. So, and then he waited. Oh, those times there was no phone, no mobile phone, so you can't call anybody. He waited for me to come. Guess what? Me, I was just having fun. I didn't even know what was going on, having fun with my friends and all of that. And then he came home. I wasn't at home. So when I came, I noticed, because normally when my friends would drop me outside, they would drop me about a few meters away. So I will walk down to the house and then go through the back like that, like that. So I have a way of sneaking in then. So this time around, I wasn't going to go free. So he came in, he was sitting there, ready, had his bath already, and he has eaten. So he was just sitting down, waiting for me to arrive, to get in. With a long cane, those kind of cane, double. He just put it by his side. And then he was just, smoking a cigarette there, sitting down there, waiting for me to come in. Oh, what a day it was. I'll never forget that day. I got a beating of my life to the highest score. A beating of my life that I'll never forget. So, guys, power tap though. Power tap, you guys just hang on. Power tap, power tap, power tap, power tap. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Power tap it. Let's get to 3,000 before I finish my story. You guys are just listening to my story now. You don't want to power tap. It was fun though. It was fun. It was fun. I think let me be doing the power tapping myself. Let me encourage myself. You guys are watching and listening. You don't want to power tap. So let me power tap so I can make it 3,000 then. So while that was going on, I didn't even know. I walked through the back, came in. As I came in, I noticed his car was already parked outside. Hey, I almost passed out. I almost passed out. And then I just summoned the courage, because there's no way I would have sneaked in through the back. He would not know. He knows that. So he was waiting for me to come in from any angle that I was in. So I got in. I saw him. I greeted him. He said, "Where are you from? Where are you coming from?" I said, "I'm coming from, I went with my friends." Then he asked me, "For how long have you been doing this?" I said, no, it just started today. Say, liar! Like that. The next thing, oh dear, it was bad. It was bad. That was the only statement I made was that. I just started today. Liar! Then the next thing, I had a whip of my life from until he finished. I couldn't say any word. There was no time to talk. It was a beating of my life. And I thought to myself, you are doing the same thing. What do you expect me to do? I mean, who is not beating you from coming home late? Nobody. So you have the right to beat me for coming late. I went out to come late. But no one has any right to talk to you about it. I say, hey, what kind of life is this? So there I knew something was wrong with the parenting style that we had. So your parents are doing certain things, they will not want you to do it. They know what they are doing is wrong, but they will not want you to do it. So when you do what they're doing, which is wrong, guess what? You are penalized for it. And that area is what I want us to address today. We need to learn as parents to model what we want our children to do or be like. So we have to be the role model for it. If you agree with me, let's talk about this. So that's what I'm here for. So real talk. Like I said, I'm not gonna do any presentation today. I'm gonna listen. I just told one of my story. There's a lot. I just told you one part of it. So let's welcome everyone in who has contribution to make. And those of you watching from YouTube, thank you for joining us. I hope YouTube will create a platform that is that will promote interaction, interaction of such kind. But obviously they are not. Yes, let's get to hear you guys. I'm learning today because most of us have some attitude that we are thinking our children are not aware of. We're trying to hide it, but it's obvious. And we don't want our children to be that way, but we are already behaving that way. For instance, we have parents that smoke who don't want their children to smoke. And then you know that that is not possible. So if you want your children to smoke, I believe you have to really think about what you're doing, right? So let's look at family values. Some of us as parents, we are greedy, we are selfish, you see, and we wonder why our children are greedy and selfish. Some of us are rude, we talk harshly, badly, we use negative words, and we wonder why our children now these days at their age now use those words. They use negative words. Some children will copy that from the school anyway. They will bring it from school. But the problem is, would you let them continue if you are a parent who observe things like that? So your goal is not to let them continue. Your goal is actually to alter it. But if you do the same thing, you're going to have it as an easy goal for them. It's going to be an easy goal. It's something that they will easily do. All right. Some of us lie a lot as parents. We tell lies. We lie a lot. We're not true to ourselves. And the children know, they can tell you, Mommy, you lie. Daddy, you lie too. So when they tell lies, why are you beating them? Why are you punishing them because they told a lie? You also lie. So that's the area I want us to look at in parenting. We need to actually correct that. It's so obvious today that most of us don't realize that our character is a display on a 65 inches TV for our children to see. Some of us don't even know. especially when we are angry. When we are angry, where we can't control our emotions based on whatever it is. So we find that we are actually displaying some mannerism, behaviors that our children just copy and then they begin to do. So, in terms of family value, I want us to focus on modeling. I want to discuss why it is so important to model what you want your children to be like. That's my point today. How important is that? And how can parents begin to pay attention to that? Because most parents don't. Like my parent, I just mentioned, my dad wasn't conscious of that at all. I didn't see it happen. I didn't see it happen. There was no nothing like I'm living a life so that my children will live this life. That consciousness was not there. So we still have parents these days who still live that way. They will just live their life to the open without the consciousness that their children is actually learning from their display, learning from the character that they show, learning from the attitude that they display, not from what they are being told. Most of the time, children don't really follow what you say to them, they follow what you do. So if they follow what you do, so you need to pay attention to what you do most of the time. Because if you pay attention to what you do, you will be able to understand that what you do is actually a walkover for the kids in their lives. That's what they want to do. They want to do what you do, not what you say. So that's the thing. Look at the children that we're having these days. Look at the children we're having these days. Our society is in a terrible situation because of the kind of teenagers that has been raised and dumped in the streets of London, dropped in the streets. In fact, all the way back to Africa these days, especially in Nigeria, where I came from, or I come from, that particular nation right now is a teenager alone doesn't know anything better than a dubious way to try to make money, deceiving and lying, and all of that going on. In fact, we have parents who will literally side their children to do the wrong thing as long as it's bringing money. So we need to really talk about this. So I need to hear from you guys what you think. I know some of us are guilty about it. Don't worry. Don't put your emotion aside and let's face the truth. Because if you face the truth and tell the truth now, it will help you to deal with the situation that is going on when it comes to parenting your children based on the way you live. The way you live in front of your children is exactly how they're going to be, except there is a divine orchestration, a divine order, a change. One of them have to wake up and say, I'm breaking the cycle. You see, one of them have to say, no, I'm not going to end up like this. Otherwise, it will be a rinse and repeat. So it is something that we need to look at. So question, what kind of behavior should you be displaying in the presence of your children? What is your character like? What kind of attitude, what kind of character do you nurture as a person, as a parent? What kind of person are you? You see, the kind of person are you matters a lot to your children because that's who they want to be. That's who they aspire to be. You are a role model to your children, a role model. And in doing so, you want to do it wisely. Somebody saying that the black male Blackmail parents, they give children, not the blackmail. Okay, it's replying to someone else. Yeah, so I want to see your comment coming in. Let me see what you guys think about this and what you think can be done. We are here as parents to make a change. We are here as parents to impact our children positively. We want to create a society in the future that will be more valuable, presentable, and peaceful, loving, and caring. So we need to start changing the the process that at which we're creating that society right now. We need to start paying attention to the process that we, because everything you do on a daily basis in the presence of your children is obviously an instruction for them to live by. You're telling them a roadmap. You're giving them a map for life. You're setting them for the future. You know, if you live in a house where there's always quarreling and fighting, your children are going to grow up and start their own family, and that's what is going to happen. They will end up quarreling and fighting. When you want to break a circle, you need to be aware this circle exists. Yes, awareness is key. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're saying. The first thing is to be aware, knowing that this behavior, this character that you portray is leading to something new. You see, don't be like some parents who know that they are doing the wrong thing, and then they will end up punishing their children who repeats what the parents is doing. You see, that's the problem. Okay. Dantwell says, as parent, we know the right things to do. When you say in the presence of kids, what are the things? Okay, you didn't finish your statement. Yeah, sometimes we're talking in their presence. The question is the things you say, the conversation you're having, the things you do. You are on the phone, no, you're talking, but they are listening. They are listening to your conversation. So the things you say on the phone with other persons or your friends or anybody, they are listening and say, oh, that's what mommy used that word, daddy used that word. They copy and they want to say the same thing. So the most obvious part is how children get traumatized and then they grow up with that trauma and then live that life and want to replicate that trauma in their own family. For instance, a child that observes the parent being fighting all the time. When a child always behold that the parent quarrel and fight all the time, you need only a divine orchestration, a divine intervention for that child not to end up, okay, fighting and quarreling with his or our partner. You just need a divine, you need to just, that there's nothing that will stop that child except there's a divine change, a divine altar, a divine, how do I put it, intervention that will make that child not to do the same. Okay. And again, that is very serious, because most parents need to know that whatever you do that is wrong, every negative attitude or behavior that you portray, they would double that. They will even triple it in their lives. It will triple in their lives. You should be precise. You should be precise speaking about foul language. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be using the word. I'm one who wants my kids. I'm one who wants my kids to use words well. Yes. If you want your kids to use the right words, then speak rightly. Use the right words. Learn the power of communication, effective communication, the power of words, how words impact lives positively or negatively. You need to be aware. A lot of parents are not aware how powerful their words that they speak how powerful it is in the life of their children or even their own lives, or generally speaking. So, you as a parent, you want to create a value system that works in your home. The first thing you want to think about is how you speak, how you walk, how you do things. You want to look at how you do things around your life, around your world, around your children. How do you do things? Your way of life is a roadmap for your children to live, except there is a divine intervention. And mark my words, except. You see, it takes a child who have been experiencing foul languages being spoken by the parents all the time, every time they speak, from the child was in the womb. You hear the parent using all those languages against themselves, and then the child came out from the womb and is growing up. He's still hearing that. It will take only divine intervention for that child not to repeat word by words those foul languages that he has all his life heard about. And this is not what parents should shy away from. I know these are topics that parents will don't, because it points at you. You can literally see that the fingers are pointing to you already. And this kind of thing, parents don't want to listen. And it's sad because you can literally see how guilty you are being. And this is how we can change the society. This is how we can create a new world, a new society for our children. This is how we can really build the children of the future. Because the one we have on the street right now is not going to help. Some of you, your 17-year-old, 18-year-old that is really rough and on the street right now can't listen to you anymore. And you're finding it hard to even get them in to talk to them. You see, some of them won't listen. Even, in fact, there are even 12 years old, 13 years old that don't even want to listen to their parents anymore. They can't wait to be 16. They can't wait to be 18 so that they can be, in quote, free from your claws, free from your hooks. Because they feel you can't talk to me anymore when I'm 18. You can't do this to me anymore. I can live the life I want. When a child starts talking like that, know that you have raised that child in a very, very negative way, that he feels that you are suffocating them. You are suffocating him as a parent. You don't want to suffocate your children. You see. So that's the picture that I'm trying to paint. Let me see the comment section. It's getting loaded now. Somebody said that, okay, replying Dan. Okay, Jane said, my parents will call and disrespect your whole life, and it's gotten to a point where I did it back. Oh dear, did you see what I mean? You see what I mean now? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody said, my son has told me several times that he likes the way I serve him food. Lovely. He likes the way I serve him food. Your son, how old is your son? How old is your son? I'd like to know. That's Dantwell. Oh, I'd like to know how old is your son. It's Dantwell. Then he says, I will thank him and also let him know, okay, he needs to learn how to tidy a bit of any crumbs on the table. That's nice. Then it says, we have built that confidence amongst ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we don't agree a few times, right? He's 7 years old. Great. 7. Nice. You're doing a great job. Depending on your relationship with your child, you're doing a great job, I'll say. But it's at 7, it should be learning, obviously taking responsibility of some of the things about himself. which is very important. Which is very important. So, um, in retrospect, in today's live stream, this is my take. That's why I said parents should know what to do. Yeah, but most parents don't give attention to that. That's the problem. You see, looking at the children we have today, we have children that don't have respect for anyone except their friends. Okay, in other words, you walk by a 17-year-old or 16-year-old. Let's deal with our own fellow Africa community children, right? Let's deal with our own Africa community children. And that's where the problem is. We are working with our children, okay? We don't greet anybody. Even our neighbor, most of our neighbor, we don't greet, okay? We just walk past. And then we expect our children not to copy that behavior. So we see children today who are 16, 17, 18, walk past an elderly person, don't say good morning, or when you even say good morning to them, they don't answer you. Somebody says it's not their responsibility to say good morning to you. That's the point. You see, in this part of UK, in this part of, if you live in London, if you live in East London, Southeast, you live in these two places. London, that means East London, Southeast, and maybe some part of West. If you live in those areas, okay, you will definitely find it difficult to understand. Obviously, you know that what I'm saying now is something that's common. All right. But if you live outside most of the places, you live outside this place, you know that this is not what they practice. Most people are very open and nice. All right. Kids are friendly. They greet, they respect, they have some values. So when we talk about family values, we have to look at the first thing, respect. And then how do we model respect? If you don't respect yourselves, you don't respect your children, they will not respect you. And if you don't respect your neighbors, you don't respect people around your life, they will not respect those people as well. You see. So we need to know that the value we create as parents is what our children would take to the next level in their lives. If we create a value system that respects other people outside the family, the children will learn it. But what I've seen in this part of the world, in my years of staying in this country, I have seen that there is a problem in that area of value system where respect is served. We have our public schools today. Why do we have most of our public schools? Why are you not putting your children in the public schools? Why are you trying to put them in the private schools and also in the Catholic schools? Why are you choosing those schools? Why are you going through the upstate to know the best school to put your child? Why? Because you don't want your child to end up in a way as though he has not been to school. You don't want your child to end up wayward, because we have so many wayward children dump in these public schools. The teachers themselves are wayward. The teachers themselves are not doing the right thing. They're all insulting each other. In fact, I was told how a student was insulting the teacher in the class and telling the teacher to shut up and insulting the teacher in the class. Everyone else were laughing in one of the public schools here. And that's not just all. So we have a lack of value system. So do you think that it is the school that's responsible for that behavior? No. That child came from a home. That child came from a family. That child had a parent. Where do you think he got that behavior from? For that child to be able to stand up to an elderly person, the teacher himself, and say, shut up, and insult the teacher and call her names. And the teacher had to walk away with shame because the whole class was bullying and doing the same thing to her. And that happens in most of the public schools that you know. The question is why? And we have our children there. Family values. Because most parents are not having time for that. They don't even think it's necessary. You see. You want people to be kind to your children, but you are not kind to others. And you're not teaching your children to be kind to others. No family values. But you want your children to be someone to be kind to your children. And then if they are not kind to your children, you are upset. Whereas your child cannot be kind, your child has not been taught by you how to be kind to others. That is what we're talking about, this family value system that we neglect. I'm telling you, I live in the UK for a while now. I can tell you obviously that our children lack family value system. Most of our children lack family value system. Just walk around the public school. Just walk around the public school. Walk around any school anyway. Let's see. You will see it. So we have schools that are really disciplining children, helping us as parents to discipline our children. And that's sad because most of us, we are not doing what we're supposed to do. So it says most parents must teach their children, yes, respect and general manners. But you see, the problem is it's not being done. That's my concern. It's not being done. Very few people pay attention to it. It's not being done. Very few people pay attention to it. Especially our Black community, our African community, especially. And that's what my concern is. It's like it's not necessary. I don't know why that is. So we even have a teacher in our midst here. Yemi said, as a teacher, some parents who are either too, I have seen some parents who are either too scared, yeah, or too busy to discipline. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, they're scared. They don't want to be thrown into prison because they don't know the better way to discipline their child. You see, they don't know the better ways. They don't want to even know. See, there is a better way to discipline your child without being afraid. And you will be so happy that you're doing it because you know you are making that child better. And the government, the laws back you up. Why not learn that one? Instead of being afraid to discipline your child when they are indisciplined, acting indisciplined. Again, how come they are acting that way? Question. How are you behaving anyway? How's your character? How's your behavior? You as a parent. If you don't take nonsense from anybody, as a parent, you don't take nonsense from anybody. You know, some people are like that. I don't take any nonsense. And so when someone talk and get on names, you react. You give them double. I mean, you react badly, and your child is watching. So when someone did anything to them in school, they react badly, and then you are called that your child is suspended because of this and that. I'm always willing to support parents in enforcing their discipline structure. That's the problem. If they want to be supported, how many parents want to be supported? Do you know how many parents saw this topic right now? They are not paying attention. They're not paying attention because to them, What's that? Family values. They assume they got it. I have it. How did I get here? Family values. How do you think I'm raising my children? Family values. So to them, they think they have the family values structure played out. But the children knows their behavior outside is telling. Somebody says, Rose says that I work in education, and some of the parents and worse, some of the parents act worse than the children. That's the point. I knew that. A lot of the parents don't have an interest. They feel is the school issues to deal with. Yeah, that's the point. They want the school to discipline their children for them. And that is hilarious. That is bad. What a way of thinking. You give back to the child, then you want the school to discipline the child for you. And some of us, the school, we inform us of the wrong behavior, wrongdoing of our children. We will fight the school. We are quarreling with the school. That's not my child. How dare you do my child? Well, in a special case like bullying your children, yes, stand for them, speak up. In a situation whereby your children is being assaulted wrongly, yeah, stand for them, speak up. But if it is your children that your child that insulted or assaulted someone else and then bully someone else, you need to wake up. Something is wrong. That's not being a man. That's not being a lady. That's not being responsible. You need to wake up and know that something is wrong. So here you are, you have these little kids. They are growing up under your roof. The first 3 years, they are under your roof, learning everything in their life. For the first 3 years of their life, they are learning everything from you. So the whole first 3 years of their life before they go to any schooling, educational procedure that is available, you had the first 3 years to teach that child something. Question, what were you doing? Or what are you doing? The first 3 years of your life, of that child's life, was dependent on you to train that child, to give that child value. Question, what did you do? Some of us, we allow cartoon movies to teach our children. Cartoons. It is cartoons that teach our children morals. Our cartoons. We are using cartoons and some of these cartoons, we don't even have time to look at them to see whether they have moral values in them. Whether it's about teaching moral values. We just put the cartoon there and they keep watching. And guess the cartoon you put them, Tom and Jerry. Your child, 1 year old, sitting down watching Tom and Jerry, watching other stuff, and you're not concerned. So the first 3 years of that child, the child is watching rubbish, learning rubbish. So he goes to school now at 3 years old. He's entered the kindergarten. As he gets into the school, guess what? He's speaking from the other ones. He say, like we attract like. So he's looking for same people, same kids that behave the way what he has been learning and watching. Also, some parents are stressed and busy working to provide health issues, no support. That's the thing. I know it's good to provide, but you see, you can live within your means. I remember when our kids were young, my first son and the second son in their tender age, from age 1 to age 5, if not possibly age 4 and 5, we personally, where one of us had to be responsible, available for them, forgetting work, because We have to like make the decision on how that should go. You have to be available and responsible and observable. You have to be there present. Of course, there are many angles to look at. That's why I'm talking about it. There are many angles to look at in this aspect of family values. But I'm focusing on the area of modeling what you want to see. You have to model what you want to see. Your children, what I'm saying is your children are copying the way you do things, not what you tell them to do. Of course, they are listening to what you're telling them, but they are learning from what you're doing rather than what you're telling. So it's easier for them to learn from what you're telling them, what you're doing, than what you're telling. That's my point of this discussion of family values right now. So I'm focusing on this part. Family values in parenting. You need to know that your children are learning from what you do. They are learning from what you do, not what you say as much. So in that part of your life, now you know that as a parent, what you do, the things you do is what is teaching your children. Of course, some of you already know. It's just that you're not paying attention to it. And most of us don't think it's necessary. But that's the problem. See, you need to be available. I know you're busy. I know you're working. So don't put cartoons as a representation of value system that you are supposed to implement, or that you're supposed to create for that home, for that child. Don't use cartoons and toys and all of that to replace that. You see? So value system is your responsibility for that child to have. So if you want that child to be nice, kind, and respectful, you have to teach that child how to do it. You have to be there to make that child realize that this is how it's done. The child wants to see you do it. Do you respect the child's father? Do you respect the child's mother? Are you kind to the child's father? Are you kind to the child's mother? The child is watching. Are you kind to them as well? Yeah, they notice. They notice everything. And that's where I'm bringing this conversation in. So I want us to see this as parents, that we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. For those of you who already have teenagers, you would have known by now that, the struggle had been there in trying to put them in shape. But if you already have those that are already in shape, well done. And I like to hear from you. See, I like to hear from you. For those of you who have teenagers who are respectful, kind and nice and behaving well, they have these family values practice. I would like to hear from you. We would like to learn from you. So send your requests. I would like to hear from you. And also those of you who are struggling with the fact that I didn't know that this is what is going on. Now my eyes are open. Yes, we want to hear your story too. And be willing to change. If you are willing to change, everything else will change. So cultural differences, family values are different. Yeah, we're not talking about cultural differences now, because we know that cultural differences in family values really family values really, I'm looking at morals, what makes the family, what makes the family work. I'm not really looking at cultural effect of it or traditional effect of it. But if it is in a tradition that you have moral values in there, family values in there, yeah, it should be embedded. In most of them should be embedded. So that's very important to look at as well. You see. And most culture or tradition embed in it family values. So if you want to stick with your culture, then look at the family values that your culture teach and then teach them. Teach them. For example, the Yorubas in Nigeria, the Yorubas will prostrate a sign of respect for elderly. That is gradually going out of the system. I mean, their children are no more doing it. In fact, we have some parents who are Yorubas. Their children cannot even prostrate to say good morning to them. They did it to their fathers, but they can't do. The children is not doing it to them because they were not taught. It's a Western world now, so it says a Western world. So we're living a Western life. So Westernize your family. Now they are not. So let's say you take that child to meet your grandparents one day, and then they'll stand on top of them and say, "Hey, grandpa, how are you, grandpa? Grandpa, how are you, sir? How are you, grandpa?" If they even think of putting "sir," or "how are you, grandma," and the mother is looking at, "Who is how you, grandma?" And you, the parents, will be ashamed because you didn't teach them the cultural values. You see, there was a moral family value embedded in your culture that you did not teach your children. Except you're saying you are denying your culture from them. You don't want them to know your culture. You see. Not too long ago, it dawned on me that I was not even speaking my native language much more in front of my children to help them learn it. So me and my wife decided we're going to start speaking much more. So we'll be telling them, we'll be sending them errands and doing certain things for them to do using our native languages to help them build that consciousness. And they're learning. So you have to find in your culture moral values, family values that are there, and start teaching it. So if you say, well, I'm a traditional man, I'm a traditional woman, fine, then teach your tradition. Teach the family values there. You live it and teach it. Okay? You live it and teach it. Because when I used to have the opportunity to travel to Lagos and spend some time in all of this part of Yoruba land, I found that children will prostrate to elderly. They are very good. I mean, it doesn't matter who they are, whether they know them or not. They are greeting the prostrate. In schools, in their schools, they will prostrate and greet elderly children. Okay? So nowadays, you see a Yoruba child, a Yoruba person who had a child that doesn't even prostrate to them as parents, greeting them in the morning. Neither would they prostrate to any elderly person, as their culture has embedded decades and generations past. So we need to see where we are missing it as parents. We need to begin to look at this. Why are we not paying attention to these things? Is it because of money, or is it because of civilization? What kind of civilization are we approaching? What kind of civilization are we entertaining? So you need to be able to look at these changes, and that's the reason for this discussion. So let me read from you. I think I've given enough insight into this, and I like to hear what you guys have to say, because it's important to know what you think. If I don't want to sound as though I'm talking over everyone's heads, but I believe I'm resonating with parents. So if you're a parent here, am I resonating with you at all? I need to know if I'm resonating with you. I have those in the comment section already, giving me a feedback. I need to know I'm resilient to. Do you feel age plays a factor also? Different age group don't have value setting morals, etc. No, I don't think age has anything to do with this, because every culture have what we call family values that is embedded in their culture. Every culture, the different cultures that you see, they have their family values embedded in it. So it is a parental responsibility to take that family values and teach it. So I'm looking at that. But the loss of respect, in fact, respect is a general family value that everyone should have embedded in their culture. So depending on how they teach it, depending on how it is being carried out. Okay, I just gave an example just now of the Yoruba land. In Yoruba, the younger one prostrates as a sign of honor, as a sign of respect for elderly. They prostrate. They don't just stand and greet elderly by standing. They prostrate in honoring, like a bow to that, like bowing down. They prostrate. And that's what I've seen them do. I'm not a Yoruba person, but I've seen that happen. In my own tradition, to respect an elderly, you have to go on your knees. So you squat, you bend your knees and greet the person. Like you bend your knees and greet. So that's one I know. Or you will bow low, not just prostrate like the Yoruba do. You bow low, your head low, and then utter the words of respect to an elderly. Elderly means anyone that is, that is above you in age. You see. So that happens. So that's respect. Okay. And then you don't talk back or in kind of rudely talking back to elderly ones. Of course, some people have misused that authority, that aspect of respect. So they've abused it. That's what I mean. Some people have been raised not to talk and explain themselves because the fear of not talking back to elderly. So there are people who have been suffocating in, they've been innocent about what they're accused of because they can't explain themselves. They are not expected to talk back. So they just live in that trauma and never expressing how they felt, never expressing their thoughts. So that grows deep in them if that becomes a way of life there. Someone said, I have a family member who is so rich, but so arrogant. Same her, his kids. Yeah. It can't be different. It cannot be different. Even the scripture says the rich speaks roughly. They speak arrogantly. When people start seeing money, the spirit that takes over them is arrogant. They start talking roughly, badly, and arrogantly to people. So if you're already rich and you don't have some divine principles that control you, that modern your life, you don't have the right moral values. Arrogance is something that you just see come out of them. And the children will take that up. That's why you see most rich people, kids, most of them, I didn't say all, most of them are very arrogant because the parents are. And this is the kind of society we are actually building without knowing. We are creating our own society from our living rooms, our bedrooms. And they in turn become what we see in the public when we send them out there, when they become teenagers, when they become adults themselves. They become what we see in the society: disrespectful, abusive, hurting. You see, criminals, we see them there. The thing is, we actually parents were the one responsible for what we see now. So question is, would you want your children to be among what you see now in the society? Or would you want them to have a different view, a different impact, a different life, a different society of their own? That is the question you should answer. And if that's true to you and is important to you, then the way you do things now should matter. What you do in the presence of your children should matter. The way you talk should matter. The things you read should matter. The places that you go should matter. The places that you go should matter. The friends that you keep should matter. Some of us keep some very write-off friends. They are written off in character and manner. They say, it's my friend, my childhood friend, what will I do? That's how he is. Your children knows. And you expect them to keep good friends tomorrow. You're telling them, you let your friends. Imagine my child sees my friends and they are all hey, where's Charlie? Where's Charles? Is your child your dad? Hey, where's your dad? And that's all they see. You think they're going to have good friends? We need to realize this as parents. Sorry about my drama, because sometimes I need to create that picture so that you understand how important this thing is. You get it? We need to know. You are always on the phone. Always on the phone. Morning, afternoon, night. Always. Your children knows. And now, by the time they have their own phone, they want to replicate that thing that you're doing. They will look for a friend that will always be available for them to talk to. They will come to you, Mommy, I want this. Daddy, I want this. Can't you see I'm on the phone? They will walk away. They'll come again, Mommy and Daddy, can't you? I'm still on the phone. Mommy, you've been on the phone. They are watching you. And then you say, go away, go away. It's as though those things doesn't matter. You are kidding. Let them get to the age that they have their own phones. And that is coming very soon. Very soon. Some of you, they already have their phones. Guess what? It is how they saw you using the phones. That is exactly what they are going to try and replicate, not what you tell them. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. You're on your phone, always talking. So they will also have friends now on the phone. They'll say, Mom, I'm on the phone with my friend, please. And then hours they will be on phone. You won't be able to correct them because that's what you did. That's what you do. It is what you practice. So you know it's wrong. You know, but you can't change it because you are guilty as charged. Sorry, I almost pushed my camera away. Family values. Watch out. Your children is watching you every day, what you say, what you do, how you do them. So if you want to build a moral value system that your children can sustain, that you want them to sustain even to their generation, you have to start giving it attention now. By teaching it, you have to teach it. You have to teach it. You have to live it to teach it, because you can't just teach it without living it. All right? Very important. Very, very important. So I would like those of you who want to give one or two advices regarding this, I'd like you to come up and give our advices today before we move to the next point that I want us to look at today on family values. We'll move to the next point. I think this point is already exhausted, so we'll move to the next point. We'll move to the next point. So let's see if who wants to say anything about this. I'd like to know. Rose, you want to say something? I'd like you to say something. Let me invite Rose. I know she has something to say. Neki, sorry, Nekis. You want something? You want to say something? Rose Black, you want to say something as well? I'd like to hear from you. Sandy, yeah, Sandy. So let's hear from you. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Maybe in the comment section, whatever it is, because this is so important. I want you to know that this is so important. Okay, you're currently driving. That's fine. So this is so important. I think this is. I think this kind of a section. This kind of a section is a section where you have parent retreats. You have to have parents summit training section. This is very important to parents because is a lot of self-reflection that need to be carried out. A lot of self-reflection. Yes. Nick, is it Neki or Nikki? Neki.
Neki, yeah.
Okay.
It's Neki. Good afternoon from here.
Afternoon, madam.
Yeah,
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I haven't been opportune to join your live for a couple of days now due to hustling and bustling of the UK.
I know.
Yeah. So just a quick one. I don't know how long you've been on this topic, but I just have a little 2 cents to drop before I leave. Yeah, my own view is regarding single parents. Now, not that I'm undermining single parents. No, not at all. Be it single father or single mother. I'm not undermining your efforts. You're doing a fantastic job. It's not easy to raise children, all by yourselves. But when life throws you certain challenges, you just have to find a way for the sake of the children and manage yourself and behave right. Now, let me cite this example. I have a good friend of mine. I was involved when she was going through a lot of issues in her marriage, and eventually she got divorced. Now, because I was involved, I know quite well what she went through in the hands of her husband, and it's not anything of her fault. Even those involved in this matter knows quite well that this woman, she cannot be faulted. She's a fantastic mom. But then after her divorce, her children were quite young at that point. She started dating. And I did call her and I warned her, you know what? I'm not against you dating, but please don't bring this man home. Don't. You're gonna regret it. You don't even know this man. From my own side, I advised her, go and do what is called Clare's law or Sarah's law. In the UK here, every woman or everybody, you have every right to check the background before you're dating anybody. There are people who have done a lot of despicable things. There are those who are child molesters, a lot of things,
Yeah.
So this woman, she didn't mind me. She felt she had fallen in love with a guy, and she doesn't want me to spoil her show. I said, okay, fine. But you know what happened? This man abused her daughter. Abused her daughter and threatened her that if she said a word, she's gonna, the little girl would disappear. So because of that, this girl, a lot of issues at school. She started withdrawing. The woman was running helter-skelter. What has gone wrong with my child? My child didn't used to behave this way. What is really happening? I didn't know all this, but I warned her. So eventually, somehow, you know, the school they were able to find out that this girl had been abused, you know, under. And then, of course, the child was removed. You know how it is in the UK. I mean, it was a big thing. A big thing. All her children were removed. Because you failed to protect these children. Now, my advice to mothers or fathers who are parenting their children, even if you want to date, I know say body no be firewood. Even if you want to date, check the background of that person you're dating. Check. And even if your children are still quite young, do not bring the man, especially for women, do not make haste to bring that man home until your children have grown to a reasonable, you know, if so be that you feel you cannot stay, fine, do your business, but don't get your children involved, because at the end of the day, this woman has lost her children. You understand? And if you ask the children, she has the right to see her children, but the children are telling her, especially the girl. The girl said, you do not listen. Even when I was giving you cues, my body language, you were so head over heels in love with this man that you did not pay attention. You understand? So eventually, the children went to the dad, went to the father. So it's really an important thing. Please, those values, very, very important. Value morality. Your morals. You've divorced, you've separated. Yes, I know. But take your time. Take your time. Because once, that's your vulnerability, especially when you divorce or you separate. As a woman, I keep telling them, don't go dating. Because you haven't healed, your eyes will be blinded to check all those flags, all those red flags. Because you need succor, you need someone to cry to. Get a friend. If you're in the church community, rely on people to give you that emotional backup until you're strong to date. Because if you're not strong, you're going to make the wrongest mistake. Yes, the guy was eventually sent to prison, but your children, especially that girl, is damaged. Damaged, 7-year-old. Damaged. So people, please, especially we women, like I said previously, I am not undermining. I don't know what has happened with your relationship. You are where you are, but please, if you have children, don't make haste. Guard yourself, control yourself, ask God for whatever God you're worshiping. Ask for self-control, before you bring that man home. Let your children grow up a little bit and do all the necessary checks. I don't care, because apparently this woman met the guy in church. Look, even the devil goes to church. You cannot say because that man is in the choir or is an usher, is in a prayer, whatever. She met him in church. It does not matter. Some people are in the church, looking for praise, looking for who to catch. So let us be very, very, very careful. How we raise our kids, our morals. What do you do in the presence of your children? Children at a very young age they already know quite a lot. There's a difference that your children are seeing mommy and daddy in a room. It's a different ballgame than they are seeing mommy and boyfriend in a room. They will become nosy. They want to know what's going on. They're gonna peep. If you're there's a lot of children. Most children are very they poke nose. They're gonna want to look, pinhole, what is really going on with my mommy and that uncle. You don't bring the man home, please. Because they are seeing, and they're gonna start experimenting those things they are seeing. So it is very, very important, sisters, women, men even. Because everybody could behave anyhow, even women. So let's be careful. If we are out of a relationship, don't make haste to jump into another one for your children's sake, especially if a child or children are involved. In the best interest of your children, don't do it. Do not do it. It's happening quite a lot. You know, in my line of job, I see it back to back to back to back. You know, you end the relationship, you're jumping into the next one. You haven't healed. And that's why you see that women, you keep wondering, man number 1, domestic abuse. Man number 2, domestic abuse. 3, man number 5. Why? It's a circle. Because you haven't healed, you're vulnerable. You're going to fall into the same type of men. You're going to fall into this. So when a relationship ends, please don't jump into a new one. Stay. Heal. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You know, guys, I think there's so much of our people that are very, very much ignorant about this. Some of the things we're saying, they are very ignorant about these things, and they don't even care. Okay, there are those who have children that are under 3, 4, who are single parent. Okay, your marriage is not working, so the partner left. You are a single mother of 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, and you think the next thing you need now is a man. Question: if you put that man in your life, where do you think you're going to be meeting the man? In your home. Because you can't leave a 3-year-old or 4-year-old on their own and go and stay with a man outside, isn't it? So again, this is another advice to you. So if you are having to look for a date because your marriage didn't work and you are now a single mother of, in fact, even 5, 7 years old below, you should not even think of going to a relationship with another man, because you will not have the time to be with the kids. So if you're going to bring the guy home, like she just said, you're going to have to, it's a problem, because you don't know, you can't just trust the guy because he's a nice guy. He bought you things. And you just saw you heard what she just said. This is what happens. And it happens back to back. And if you notice, these ladies, single mothers that are going out for these guys because they feel that they need companion, because all of that reasons. Then at the end of the day, you notice that most of them have children that are less than 4 years old at home. Some of them less than 7. You see? Because if you have children that are about 10 years old and above, okay, it's fine. You can start thinking about, so okay, let me start entertaining that, or giving attention to that relationship. And then you will now move on to the next level, which is you will have to start that relationship outside first, spend time outside first. So it's obvious you can leave these children for some time, depending on the age, that is not less than 12 years old, to be able to make that decision. But we have many of these people, single parent, who are victims of these circumstances, that have children under 12. In fact, largely under 7. You have children that are under 7. And you're bringing a stranger into their life. You bring that, we're talking about modeling what you want your children to be like. You are the one to model it. So you're bringing those children into those relationship into their life. They see you bring the man in. They see you and the man go out. You escort the man, and the man, you wave them. They see all of that. The man will come as though he's living there. So they see all of that. They know this is not my parent. This is not my father. This is not. They know. And you don't care. Well, wait until they are 18. They will tell you that they noticed. And by that time, the kind of behavior and attitude that they portray, you will be shocked that you can't change it. There's nothing you could do. Retalk, my sister. Unmute yourself that way. Retalk. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. My signal goes in and out, so sorry about that.
It's okay.
Basically, it was a very interesting topic. Every time when you discuss, but somehow I'm in and out. But it's 1 minute, sorry.
That's right. So, guys, you need to understand that this is very important to you as a parent. Also, men who cheat on their spouses acknowledge that it is that it affects their children? Of course, Jane. Of course, because again, we're talking about modeling what you want your children to be. So if you cheat on your spouse and you still do it, of course your children will know. They will see it. It will obviously cause an argument in the house because there's no way that the woman will not know. So no matter how smart you think you get, she will get to know because there was always a messenger to deliver the message. There's always a messenger that...
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think family values are so much different when we compare. Obviously, I was listening to your background when you were raised and that kind of stuff. As an African as well, being raised in Africa and then coming in here and raising kids is completely different. But the one thing I would like to say is child abuse is not only existing within the single parent household, it exists across all boards. But the study does support it a lot of the time. Child abuse is happening with a second parent coming into a family, into a woman's life. So, to be honest, I mean, I work around safeguarding kids. You know, my job is safeguarding children in the UK. So I have witnessed and I have seen so many different cases where women have been put in that kind of position. And most of the time, obviously, that I came across, because I'm Black African, from Black ethnic minorities, most of the time it's financial, where there is a failed marriage or relationship, then the women obviously might be struggling financially. So it just depends on the man. And then they got kids and they don't have paper to live in the country. And for that reason, they jump into so many factors.